Hello, I want to thank the organizers of the Second International Agrobiodiversity Congress for giving me the opportunity to present the European Evaluation Network, EVA, a pan-European project that is harnessing crop genetic resources through public-private partnerships. The European Cooperative Program for Plant Genetic Resources, ECPGR, currently has 35 member countries and has been working for more than 40 years on ensuring the long-term conservation of plant genetic resources and to facilitate their utilization across Europe. The European Search Catalog for PGRFA, EURISCO, contains passport information for more than 2 million accessions held in over 400 gene banks. The graph on the right shows the number of accessions per genus available in the database for the 6 crops in our evaluation network. And you can see that many thousands are recorded. Most of these, however, have limited information on them. So one of our project goals is to enhance the value of gene bank collections through the inclusion of standardized characterization and evaluation data for crop accessions in EURISCO. The EVA network is set up as crop-specific public-private partnerships. Our public partners are primarily gene banks and research institutes, while our private partners are breeding companies and cooperatives ranging in size from small local organic breeders to large multinationals. Focusing on research at a pre-competitive level, we ensure that we can leverage all partners' expertise and capacity and that everyone benefits from this cooperation through knowledge transfer. The main aim is to collect evaluation data for PGRFA using standard protocols and collecting data from multiple environments across Europe. The multi-location trials will help identify genetic resources specifically adapted to different environments on the continent. Together with genotyping information, we generate data sets that will be stored in a dynamic information system, and all results will enter the public domain after a short embargo period. We will thus explore the genetic diversity in European gene banks, focusing on underutilized PGRFA, and through this, improve gene bank inventories for materials that are available through the multilateral system of the International Treaty for PGRFA. 92 partners from 29 countries participate in one or more of our currently 5 crop-specific networks on 6 crops: lettuce, carrot, pepper, maize, and wheat and barley. The pie charts show the distribution of the roles within the different networks, indicating in blue the private partners, and in orange and gray the public institutions collaborating in the networks. In these graphs, we also distinguish our public sector partners into gene banks that primarily provide materials in gray, and those that also actively contribute to the evaluations. All partners together jointly work on the evaluations and data analysis according to their expertise and capacity. The EVA networks operate in a circular mode to evaluate PGRFA, with the intention to becoming self-sustaining networks that continue to explore genetic diversity from European gene banks. In a first step, partners select traits of interest and sets of accessions from European gene banks that should be evaluated with standard experimental protocols. The accessions are shared within the network according to the principles of the multilateral system, using the standard material transfer agreement. They are then multiplied to generate sufficient material for multi-location evaluations in the field and laboratory as appropriate, as well as for genotyping. All data are collected and stored and visualized in a project database linked with EURISCO to facilitate making results publicly available after the embargo period. Our crop-specific networks work on different traits of interest, depending on the crop, but prioritizing traits that are of interest for breeders. We collect data on plant morphology and characterization using classic IPGRI descriptors, as for example, the color of carrot roots. Traits of agronomic interest, such as bolting and lettuce, are also important for breeders. A special focus is given to biotic and abiotic stresses, as resistances and tolerances towards these are becoming increasingly important in adapting agriculture to the changing climate. Linking data on these priority traits with genomic data enables breeders to identify and use genetic resources in their breeding programs. In my final slide, I want to reiterate the long-term goals of our European evaluation networks. Our main goal, as mentioned, is to promote, facilitate, and improve the sustainable use of underutilized genetic diversity conserved in European gene banks for crop improvement. Incidentally, this also will help gene banks in their conservation efforts and build their capacity. Increasing the number and diversity of stakeholders that are using genetic resources in plant breeding is another aspect, as we intend to create long-term public-private partnerships for different crops, extending them in time and scope also to other crops. And for example, with the support and collaboration of EU-funded projects, such as we have, for example, currently with the Agent Project. I want to acknowledge our many collaborators in the networks. You can see in the screenshot the participants of the annual meeting of the EVA Carrot Network. I also want to acknowledge the funding we received to support this initiative from the German government and through the Horizon 2020 Project Agent. Please check our website or contact me for further information. Thank you for your attention.